Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. Today our groups are going to present about introduction to RESTful APIs and their implementation. And these are our group's members for our today presentation.
My name is Idham Hakim and I am going to present what is a RESTful API. REST stands for Representational State Transfer, and it is an architectural style for designing network applications. A RESTful API is an application programming interface that follows the principle of REST.
My name is Muhammad Aiman Haziq Memarzuki, and I'm gonna presenting about the principle of RESTful APIs, which are the backbone of modern web development. Let's get started. First up, we have statelessness. In REST, each client request to the server carries all necessary information. This means the server doesn't store client context between requests, enhancing scalability. Think of it as a clean slate for every interaction. Next, we embrace the client-server model. The client and server are distinct entities communicating over stateless protocol like HTTP. This separation allows for flexibility and scalability, making our system more robust and adaptable. Now, let's talk about the uniform interface. RESTful APIs rely on standard HTTP methods: GET, POST, PUT, and delete for handling resources. Each method has a specific purpose: gets for fetches data, post for creates, puts for the updates, and delete for remove. It's like speaking a common language for efficient communication. Moving on to resource, they're the heart of RESTful APIs. Anything that can be uniquely identified, be it a user, product, or data, is a resource. We access this resource through URIs, making interactions intuitive and straightforward. Last but not least, representation. Resources are represented in format like JSON or XML. Clients and server can negotiate the format they prefer using HTTP headers, ensuring compatibility and seamless data exchange. And there you have it. By following these principles, we create scalable, flexible, and interoperable system. Thank you.
My name is Asidik Beanwar. I'm going to delve into implementation of REST. So let's start with the foundational step of identifying resources. When designing an API, it's essential to understand what data or functionality your API will expose. These resources could range from users and products to orders and beyond. By clearly defining these resources, you lay the groundwork for the rest of your API design process. Once we have identified our resources, the next step is to define endpoints. Endpoints are the URLs through which clients interact with your API. For example, /users might represent a collection of users, while /users/ID might represent a specific user. Establishing clear and intuitive endpoints is key to a well-structured API. Now let's discuss the selection of appropriate HTTP methods for each endpoint. HTTP methods dictate the action that clients can perform on your resources. For instance, GET is typically used to retrieve data, POST to create new resources, PUT or patch to update existing ones, and delete to remove resources. Choosing the right method ensures consistency and clarity your API design. With our endpoints and HTTP methods in place, it's time to handle requests. This involves implementing server-side code to process incoming requests to your API endpoints, whether it's fetching data from a database, modifying existing data, or generating responses. Effective request handling is crucial for the functionality and performance on your API.
Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. My name is Tin Shamil. I'm going to explain about return responses, document your API, test your API, and secure your API. Okay, for return responses, when handling requests, return appropriate HTTP status codes along with the requested data or an error message. Use status codes like 200, okay, 201 is created, 404 not found, and 500 internal server error to indicate the success or failure of the request. To document your API, provide documentation for your API that describes each endpoint, the expected request format, the response format, and any authentication requirements. To test your API, test your API thoroughly to ensure that it behaves as expected and handles error gracefully. For secure your API, implement security measures such as authentication and authorization to protect your API from unauthorized access and abuse. By following these steps and adhering to the principles of REST, you can design and implement a robust and scalable API that can be easily consumed by clients. For the reference, this is our reference for our assignment. That's it from our group. Thank you.